You're listening to Brigade Radio 1.
Welcome to the Antisocial Show.
Hey everybody, it's Tyson. Thank you for listening. Just want to let you know we are on Spotify now. So you can go to Spotify if you're not already listening there and look for Sounds by Tyson Saner, or just put Tyson Saner, Tysonsaner, in the search and our stuff will come up. It's all 100 episodes. Thank you for listening. Peace.
They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming to get you.
And here's your hosts, Underblock and Tyson Saner.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Antisocial Show, a show that says, listen to the why nots instead of the whys. I'm Hunter Block, and he's
Tyson Saner.
Okay, so everyone out there listening right now, that opening was like a last-minute ditch effort because the one that I wanted to do, I was kind of screwing up when I got to the Mr. Robinson part, so I'm like, all right. And I practiced this like 5 or 6 times before we actually jumped on tonight, but it's too much of a tongue twister what I was going to say, so I'm like, you know what, screw it. And yeah, so that's why I went with that very lame, very generic opening, so that's my bad, folks. We had so much content past few months that we're actually now recording for the first time in probably a month or something like that.
I was going to ask how long it had been.
It was definitely like a month. I mean, so by the time you guys listen to this, 2 more episodes would have already dropped. One with Mark Hershon, the godfather of podcasting, and of course Andrew Dick.
Our 100th episode with Andrew Dick, yes.
Yes, our 100th episode with Andrew Dick, but not officially 100.
Also, we haven't done 100 episodes with him. It's our 100th episode, and it happens to be
right.
It happens to be with Andrew Dick, yes.
But it won't be marked 100, and so
no, it won't. But it will be called the 100th episode.
Yes. So I want to say for the past probably 2 years, everybody, I've been pestering and badgering Tyson for about 2 years now on content because I wanted episode 100 to be special. And I can tell you right now, there was nothing more special than doing an episode with Andrew Dick as the hypothetical 100 episode, even though it won't be marked that, but it's still, that's the name. Obviously, the title show is 100, yeah? Something like that? Something with that in the title?
It'll be called, I'm going to call it the 100th episode.
So now, if you have been listening this whole time to Antisocial Show, we tried something for the first time. Going to October will be 5 years for us. So, and we've had multiple guests on the show if you've been with us the whole time, but we've never attempted to have 2 people on at once. So, I mean, aside from Tyson and I, so normally it's just Tyson and I and, 1 person, but now we're having 2. And that was Erica Curry and Cassandra Cardenas of Trashy Trashy. And it worked. So then when we got to Andrew Dick, he had a whole room full of people. So it was kind of like our first virtual live audience. And
kind of, because I think he was on speakerphone.
Yes, he was.
On speakerphone on his cell phone, which was an interesting visual treat that some of you will get to see in probably about a year from now. Because that's about how long it'll probably take for me to get video versions out. Right now, I just released episode 75. So now that does not mean that there are 25 more episodes or whatever it would be. To 100 is actually less than that. There's just, that's the thing. It's like it's actually going to be episode 89 or 91 or something, but it'll be called, episode, I should know this by now, it'll be called episode 91, the 100th episode.
Wrong.
Sorry, yes? Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, keep talking. I just want to, I have a theory. I'm going to step away for like 2 seconds just to test my theory real quick.
Okay. And I'm hearing you really good right now, so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have a theory. I'm going to test it real quick.
Okay.
Okay. How about now? Can you hear me clearer now?
I hear you about the same as I did when you stood up. It's decent now. It's decent enough. It's not, like I said, it's not loud, but I can control a lot of that on my end here. So
I took care of my
oh damn, you froze.
felt like a meat locker.
Oh, there it goes. I don't know.
Cold. And you
Yeah, you froze a second
you froze
ago.
there. Oh, you're fine.
Let me see if I'm receiving.
So,
Okay, so our guest is ready to go when we are.
all right, perfect.
All right, so let's see here. No? Creating new group?
Tiger Nation. Oh, by the way,
Huh.
do you think I should get some type of kickback for coming up with Tiger Nation? I'm not going to go into great details of what that is until they've, I mean, obviously by now they've already heard that particular episode, so I'm not worried about that right now. But do you think I should get like some type of like kickback for that?
I don't even know how to address that. I mean,
what if they coin? Come on, what if they coin it though? I mean, Tiger Nation.
Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm about to press this button here. Okay, so let me do that.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm out of control. I know.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, so it should be starting a new group, I think. I don't know. Tried to add him to the call. Ooh, there we go. It seems to be doing something.
It is doing something.
I can see that.
see your computer screen. I can see
Hey,
myself.
can you hear me?
I can. Hey, Sean, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Awesome. All right, cool. Since you're there, and you can see what I'm doing probably because I'm sharing my screen. So this is Hunter over here.
How we doing, man?
Oh, good, man.
Hunter, Sean, Hunter.
Oh, good. He can hear me. Perfect.
He can. Yes, we were having some sound. I want to say difficulties, but it's more like just some questions whether or not we could hear each other and whatnot. And it turns out it's okay. So I think I'm going to put myself right about here since this seems to be the best negative space. Or I could literally just put myself up in the corner again. That actually, maybe that'll, no, but then that puts me, it's all right.
I promise. This isn't alcohol. I promise.
Oh, okay.
That would have been fine if it was, dude.
Yeah, believe me, I'm this far away from deciding to crack into that they're selling like certain cocktails in cans now?
Nice.
Really?
Yeah, so I have a gin and tonic that's looks like it's just in like a Coke can style can.
Man, that used to be my go-to back in the day, man.
It's good stuff. You do that with the lime or without? What do you prefer? And do you have a preferred gin?
Lime. Like I used to do. Martinis were also a big thing back in the day, too.
Sure. Also gin?
Yeah, gin straight up or gin and tonic or whatever. But have you had a martini?
I have. I used to drink them all the time. Gin with pickled onion. So it gets them, I guess.
Okay, do you have them with the olive?
It varies. You were saying, Hunter, do you?
I've never had one.
Okay. I should point out really quickly, this is Sean. Now, Sean, I only usually refer to you as Sean, and did I get the last name right? Pratten.
Yep, you got it right. Good job.
Awesome. So, Sean Pratten, really quickly for everybody who's joining us on the visual or even on the audio. Sean is the host of at least one podcast, and I know there's two. One I've been on called Sensibly Cynical, and then there's one called, is it called Cynic Snacks or Mr. Cynic?
Oh, well, that's a little gimmick I started. I was trying to think of something creative because I did a movie review podcast for a while.
Oh, okay.
And that sort of flamed out. So I'm thinking, what can I do with the cynic name? And I was like, Mr. Cynic. So I had some guy create, a little animated guy. Looks like he has a brain for a head, and he looks like a yoga, like some guy that's like doing meditation.
Oh.
So the episode that I do that of is basically a pros and cons.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like I say the pros and cons of stuff, and then usually I just pick, I always talk about stuff, like I have one coming up. It's extroverts versus introverts. So I'm going to talk about like the pros and cons of each. But the main one, since we're cynical, that's kind of turned into an interview show.
Okay.
I could tell you right now, there are absolutely no cons of being an introvert. I mean, it is so peacefully quiet, and it's like, you keep your bullshit over there. I'll stay over here. this is my room, that's your room, you don't come into my room, you stay in your room, I don't want to hear your shit. So I'll be introverted, and I am. Very much so. And in fact, if I got to stay home during lockdown, that really wouldn't bother me whatsoever.
I find that,
I'm kind of a sorry, go ahead, Tyson.
I was about to make a dumb joke about cons and how that most introverts won't go to cons unless you let them wear costumes.
Yeah. I'm like a weird dichotomy of both. Like I got made fun of in middle school, so it kind of turned me into like an introvert. But then when, the video game nerds kind of took me in high school,
mm-hmm.
I was like trying to be that extrovert at like a Halo party.
Oh, nice.
Like, oh yeah, we get the Halo off. That that's when LAN was huge. Landline and stuff.
Oh yeah, our previous guest Marty Yu actually talked about doing LAN parties, playing. I don't know that it was Halo, but it was something. It might have been something in the Half-Life. Hunter, do you remember? Because this episode just actually went up. The video version just went up. It's episode 75, Late Night Nerding with Marty Yu. And we did end up talking about video games.
Yeah.
But the conversation is recorded like almost 2 years ago. So.
And he was, and that particular episode, he was drinking just as much as I was. So I really, I saw the episode on YouTube a couple of days ago, but. I don't really remember much of it now. I just recently listened to an episode of Sensibly Cynical, and it was the one about you brought on the person from the GameCube podcast. The GameCube. I'm not saying it correctly, but it's. Do you remember what it was? The GameCube Was Cool podcast or something like that? Yeah,
the GameCube Was Cool podcast. Yeah, he says he's the only GameCube podcast out there. I don't know. He says there's another one, but he's really started from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Only GameCube games. That's it.
Makes sense. It's good to have a niche.
Obviously. But seriously, that's it. And it was cool just to get his, his vision on everything. He was even talking about Luigi's Mansion and stuff. Oh, yeah. I don't remember when that game came out. Were you a GameCube person, Tyson? I assume so.
GameCube was actually the first console that my wife and I bought together, that we owned together. And it was the purple edition. It came with a purple controller.
Yeah.
We ended up getting an orange one later. I actually am looking at it right over there. And it came with a special, it was a 4-game collection. It was the Legend of Zelda collection. So it had the original Legend of Zelda for Nintendo Entertainment System and Legend of Zelda 2, which is Link. I can't remember what it's called, the subtitle. And then it skips to the two of the ones that were released. Actually, I think there were only 2 on Nintendo 64, and it was Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So you get those 4 games on the one mini disc that came with it in a special collector's set. And then we added Super Smash Bros. Melee to that and spent a lot of time playing that game. Because there's a quest mode and stuff. You can actually, the game's a collectathon, which is fun. Also, it's a decent combat fighting game.
I think I'm the only person that I know that never had a GameCube.
It's possible.
Really?
Yeah, now I feel like a loser.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have one myself. That's why I had him on to talk about it. But I was big into PlayStations growing up, man.
100%. I got my PS4 on right now behind me.
Well, that's what that is.
Yeah, I couldn't break down I couldn't. I'm waiting for the PS5 to just drop a bit in price before I go out and spend that kind of money on it.
I hear that.
Yeah, what's your guys' take on that Xbox? Do you think that that's better than the PS5? Have you guys heard anything about that Xbox?
With the new Xbox?
Yeah, how it is, how the reviews are and stuff.
Haven't really heard much about it, honestly. I've got an Xbox One. We had an Xbox 360 for years, and then we upgraded to the Xbox One.
That's what I'm still playing on. I'm still playing on Xbox 360 because I refuse to give it up.
Still got my 360 and the.
But now here's the problem. I'm sort of playing on outdated consoles, so to speak, and I'm saying that that's okay, because it doesn't really bother me. But a very much younger self would be offended by this. I would have to own that PS5, but hitting 40 very recently, I discovered I really don't give a shit. It works.
Well, it's just a number. Age is just a number, man.
100%. I don't feel 40. My wife will tell you that, my mentality is that of a 5-year-old, so we're all good.
Sorry.
No, I said I'm 34 and I feel 24. So
yeah,
exactly.
I'm 47.
Oh God,
yeah, so I'm the young buck here. I'm the young buck here.
Yeah.
You are. I remember just
It's been
yesterday.
a while since I've been that in a conversation. No offense, guys.
I'm taking, dude. I was 34 yesterday, and I thought that was old until I hit like 38, and I'm like, well, shit, that was old at all, And now 40, it's kind of like not old yet, but
Yeah.
I will say that 47 feels pretty much exactly like 35. I mean, mine does. I don't know, but I quit smoking.
I just turned 34, so
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Yeah. So, anyways, Tyson, I'm a big fan of the podcast, man. I appreciated the invite.
Oh, thank you for coming on. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I told Tyson when he was on, I'm a real big fan of like the deadpan style. I'm a fan of that. Like, Tyson, you have a good like delivery that I really appreciate.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure exactly.
Hunter, I haven't talked to you before, so I'm not trying to cite you, but
he's the more laid back, more kind of quiet one, where I'm very much unpredictable. So much so, in fact, in the beginning, he had to just edit out a lot of stuff because I would drop curse words like every other word, and it was I'm from Jersey. What can I tell you?
Yeah, like in the best way possible, Tyson. It took me a second to gather myself when I first interviewed you. I'm like, God, this guy has like an interesting podcast style. It's really cool. I didn't expect that at all. You came in cool, and this is different. I'm like, yeah, I like this vibe, because a lot of times you have people on that are either like apprehensive, or you have to like dig deep to get an interview done. Yes. I've done probably, I don't know, I have to be up to 30 or 40 interviews now. And I would say for the most part, you can tell when there's a good interview, and you can tell when it's like, all right, I need at least 15 minutes in this episode. So can I get there? Usually, and if it's a bad one, usually I'll do like 40 minutes and I'll cut out half of it.
Really?
Thankfully, we haven't had any bad interviews. I mean, except for there was one bad episode.
Just a moment.
But that was.
I'd like to say thank you, by the way. Thank you, Sean. I accept your compliment. I'm not good at accepting them, so I appreciate it, and just wanted to say thank you. It
took me years. It took me years to get him to accept my compliments. So and now 10 years we're going on right now.
Yeah, I just did this, but my hand was out of frame. Sorry about that. Oh, by this I'm pointing at Hunter like, yep, that's what I'm saying. Yep, you. So I'm sorry. Please continue.
Right. Now I have to get back to my train of thought now, because I kind of lost my train of thought listening to all this. But,
yeah, sorry about that. It's on platform 9 3/4, I believe.
What was I talking about? Yeah. One bad episode, and none of the episodes that we ever really did were bad, except for the one. But that was my fault, because I had severe bronchitis, and I was dying all through the show, and I don't think the guests really appreciated that. But the show must go on, so
Yeah. Content.
Yeah, content. It's hard to say. I mean, I imagine that there's got to be. I don't really know what constitutes a bad show. Like, I've had shows where I wasn't in the best of moods.
A bad show is trying not to fall asleep during the interview. That's a bad.
I agree with that. There's a famously, I'm not going to say who it was, because I would like to get them for a guest in the future. But there was somebody who was a radio personality talking about. They were replaying, I want to say footage, but is audio footage? It's still footage, right? Of audio. They're playing audio of a interview they did with this guy, and they're listening to it, just bits of it, and then commenting on the listening. And then one of them was like, ugh, I'm falling asleep again listening to him talk. So just listening to the recording of him, he was falling asleep.
You know who you wouldn't fall asleep to, and it's a big loss for podcasters, is interviewing Wolfman Jack from California.
Oh, yeah.
He's dead now, but
Hasn't Wolfman Jack been deceased for about 15 or so years?
Yeah, he's been dead for quite a while.
Okay. Yeah. So he precludes the podcast as far as I know. But yeah, absolutely. Right. No, that would be...
So in my bad person if I don't know who that is?
Not at all.
Wolfman, no, not at all. He's before your time, before my time, technically. As far as when he was, working, but he was a radio personality in California back in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, yeah?
He had a very specific voice. Sorry?
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you, what was his claim to fame? Like, how do you... That was...
Well, he'd howl, and he'd go, "Hey, this is the Wolfman coming at you," and then Wolfman Jack, and then something. He actually had much like many celebrities and odd properties from the 60s to the 80s, had a Saturday morning cartoon adaptation of him of some sort. So there was a Wolfman Jack cartoon, and he did his own voice because he's a voice guy. That's the thing about being a voice person.
I mean,
you can play yourself. I'm sorry, but
so that's Wolfman Jack, but he had severe, facial hair and everything. Like he looked like the Wolfman from back in the day to some degree.
I believe he also did some judging on the Gong Show. Okay, actually, have you guys have seen maybe American Graffiti?
No.
George, maybe George Lucas's second.
I don't think I've.
Okay.
I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard of it.
It's pretty. It's one of those ones that's kind of notable for its time period. I guess as more time goes on, some of these movies that seemed really culturally relevant to me, it's relative. Like I guess it must be like a decade by decade thing. Certain separation occurs where it's like, you run across 30-year-olds and they've never seen the original Star Wars, and it's hard for me to imagine a world where not everybody knows about Star Wars, but they don't, and that's fine. It's just that's reality now.
Yeah, this new girl I'm seeing, I got lucky with her because she doesn't watch the news. So, and I have this stack of DVDs that I've been collecting for the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, I have 50 DVDs to choose from. You pick.
That's fun. Sorry, go ahead. Who?
I have a whole studio full of DVDs I haven't even watched yet.
We just stay home and pick a DVD. That's what we play. So
cool. I've been watching mostly children's television programming, and I actually managed to watch WandaVision from Disney Plus, the Marvel Cinematic Universe series.
What's y'all's take, Hunter? Maybe you can. I'm not trying to interview you guys, but I just have a question on this. Go Plus.
It's a conversational podcast.
What's your take on all the Plus programming and the on demand and stuff like that? What's your thought? Premium content
in general?
Like as far as what
take on the transformation in the last decade of that?
You mean making it a lot more accessible to people to watch? As far as
because people were tired of overpaying for cable.
Oh, 100%. I don't have cable anymore. I had cable probably last year, but then I got to thinking, you know what? I have HBO Max, I have Hulu, I have Netflix, I have Prime. Like, why the hell am I going to have cable and the internet when I'm not even watching the cable? So, as far as Hulu, you can live stream shows that are current right on Hulu. So it's in a lot of ways a lot better. Like, for example, I started buying digital movies on Prime instead of just going out and buying the DVD, so it saves a lot of space.
Yeah.
And plus, I just love my Apple TV.
Yeah, I have Netflix. I think it's now Paramount Plus. It was CBS All Access, but I have Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm. There's a Discovery Plus now. I'd probably get that.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I think the big some creative mastermind saw the opening and were like, hey, let's just do, exclusive content, and have them pay for it. And bam, it just...
Well, it's subscription TV, but it's also it's like you go for a specific type of content and you get to watch it whenever you want to, which I think is the main drive, because I've missed... you were saying something, Hunter, about missing something or about not being able to get a PS5, and it's like how there's an earlier version of yourself that would have freaked out at knowing that there's a version of you in the future that would be like, yeah, PS5, schmies5. But
I think that if I could go back I think I can go back in time to my 24-year-old self, even my 24-year-old self or 25-year-old self, and can tell myself to stop bitching over a PS5, and I probably would slap my younger self like, yo, like this, slap. That don't matter. You know what I mean? But I can tell you right now that probably my 24-year-old self can probably kick my ass. So it's kind of like say it and get out. You know what I mean?
My 24-year-old self was at a club trying to pick up girls. That's what my 24-year-old self was doing.
Yeah. My 24-year-old self was very much married, so there was no going to the clubs.
Well, I'm in that like honeymoon phase with this girl, but I'm trying to take it easy, You know how that honeymoon phase where like it's like getting a brand new car.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'm in that phase in a relationship where it's like nothing can go wrong. She's like God's gift,
That's nice.
And it's funny. I took a course in college, and the professor puts up a I don't know. I think it was Excel. I don't know, some sort of spreadsheet. And the relation, it was like a bell curve, like relationships, like a bell curve. You know what I mean?
I've heard of a bell curve.
Yeah, but that's what a relationship is. It's like up, and then it just crashes down.
Oh yeah, I see. I understand what you're saying.
Well,
yeah.
Y'all don't live together yet, right?
Oh no, it's like 1 month old. But we're just started. Let
her text you, and then don't respond back for like 30 minutes. That'll tell you everything that you need to know.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I'm like really into it, but I'm in that weird dichotomy where it's like, because I've made, it's been a while since I got like really like invested in somebody, and I'm having a hard time because my past relationships haven't lasted very like 3 or 4 months. But I want to make this one last, so I'm kind of in a weird dichotomy. But I don't mean to bore y'all with relationship stuff.
Dude, we talk about almost anything.
It's a conversational
wise, exactly.
So what I was saying earlier I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, that point about the visiting a younger version of oneself. When I was so the idea to I want to say 24-year-old, probably 24, maybe 23-year-old version of myself. There was a television documentary, a television event that was multi-part, and it was the Beatles anthology thing that happened in the early 90s. And I was a huge Beatles fan as a child. So the child version of me looking at the adult version of me who was going like, you know what, I'm okay to miss this because it'll probably come out on video and I'll watch it later at leisure. I don't absolutely need to watch this now when it's on because I'll probably be able to watch it someday. Like, make the idea that I could make that kind of adult decision to that child version of me would have been kind of very foreign. But then I was on some good antidepressants also, so that helped. Well, not
just
good,
so
not good, strong.
Just so everyone's aware, we're still dealing with Tyson from Earth 2, and given the description of how calm he is during that whole thing he just said, me and Tyson from Earth 1 talked a lot of shit about you, my friend. I just want to let you know about that. And we said that you torture people. That was Tyson from Earth. This is my Tyson was talking about that. So if you have him stashed on Earth 2, please don't hurt him or in any way, because we're going to eventually need him back.
Yeah, this is a bit purely for my benefit. He's talking about. He's not saying you. He's saying that there's a version of me out there that is Tyson from Earth 1, and he and that other guy. That I'm the one to. I can't even diagram it now that you've said it. I know what you're saying, but I don't think I could say it back. It's like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like getting Matt Gaetz to explain what wokeism is. I don't think that would.
So 2 years ago, during an episode, I don't think we had too much content that night, so I started bringing up alternate realities, Earth 1, Earth 2, and so forth. And I said that Tyson from Earth 2 would have a goatee, long hair, and he would be the sinister doppelganger of Tyson from Earth 1. So naturally, going back, 6 months ago, he drops me a text message and says, "Oh yeah, by the way, I have a new video up on Tyson Saner Gamer." So I'm like, all right, I'm going to check it out. So I check it out. And I'm like, is that a goatee? And I'm like, that's Earth 2 Tyson, and I'm like, who are you? So it's kind of been like a running gag on the show a little bit.
Sean, are you familiar with the original series Star Trek Mirror Universe thing, where the evil people in the alternate universe are like Kirk and Spock with goatees and stuff? Does that?
I'm not super familiar with those. I know
That's what he's talking about.
Okay, but I'm starting to get into Picard. I've started watching Picard, which is like CBS All Access only or Paramount Plus.
Yeah, that looks good.
They brought back Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
For like his standalone
Patrick Stewart
deal.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, didn't he get like, I don't know anything, but isn't he controversial now? Like, do y'all know that, like, my dad was saying like he hates Patrick Stewart now. He says he's some sort of creep. I don't know anything about that.
I hadn't heard anything about that. No.
I heard something. No, William Shatner. There's been something with William Shatner on social media. I don't know. He said something about a fellow actor from Star Trek, so everyone's giving him crap about it or some such nonsense.
I have not run across it in my Twitter stream yet, so I don't know what's going on.
You know how social media is. You know, you see the fan pages and crap, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, William Shatner receives merciless backlash for comments that he said about certain co-stars of the show, and then everyone's like, oh, he can say what he wants. He's Captain Kirk. Okay. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I understand. I hear you. I mean, it's an interesting thing. There was a.
This is why I'm introverted.
Television. Go ahead.
I don't care what Captain Kirk said.
It's like, do y'all ever go on the website Reddit?
Yes.
And the subreddit.
I am subscribed to a couple of different Reddit feeds, but that's about it. Like I look at the Skull Juice one because that defaults to Safe Space, which is another podcast I listen to.
I always find those message boards interesting, and like, what kind of hobbies do these people have? Do they have lives? Some of them, I wonder.
They're keyboard warriors.
Keyboard hobbyists.
They're in their parents' basement, and they got the two computer screens and a mountain of Mountain Dew Code Red empty cans piled up to pizza boxes. Just bottom feeders who essentially got beat up in high school, and now they're taking revenge on the social medias.
Well,
and they just go through every single comment.
Bottom feeders is taking on a different meaning in today's climate, but
100%.
People are eating booty like groceries nowadays. Sorry, what?
No, and they're the ones that try every single type of Dorito chip. Yeah, those people.
Every single type? Yeah. Well, I'm sure some are better than others. What was good is the taco Doritos.
So, and usually it's an older white male who are these, basement dwellers. So they're sitting there on their little computers, oh, I'm gonna attack this person. Mom, I said I wanted nacho flavored Doritos, not this crap. Type.
Nacho flavored Doritos. Do you remember the movie The Sixth Day, Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
Do you remember how there was like regular banana and nacho flavored banana?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Certain things just don't go together.
No, but I mean, they're genetically engineered bananas, so it's like, it is a little. It's one of those little things they add to films to let you know more about the world that the movie takes place in. So it's like
that was a very interesting movie though, with an interesting twist.
Sixth Day. Yeah, it was okay.
Yes.
It was okay. I mean,
that's the one where he's the clone, right? He has a clone?
There are clones. All right, let's go that far. He may or may not also be a clone. But for those who haven't seen it. By the way.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I thought you were going to, when I heard the word six, I thought you were going to talk about The Sixth Sense. That movie.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I was like, The Sixth. Is he going to go with The Sense? Oh, no. He's saying The Sixth Day.
With Bruce Willis, right?
Are y'all into horror movies?
I fucking love horror movies.
I've seen quite a few in my lifetime, yeah.
Y'all remember The Sixth? You guys remember The Sixth Sense?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Saw it in the theater.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Speaking of William Shatner, there was a preview for Fight Club in the beginning of that. I don't know if you recall, but there's a scene in Fight Club where they're walking down the street, like, who would you fight? And one of them was like, I would fight William Shatner. So that scene was in the preview, and the audience at the time let out a kind of like a groan noise because, like, just within the last week, I think it was, before that happened, it was in the news that William Shatner's, one of his wives had just died. So people, I think, were aware of that. So, like, when they heard that line, it didn't quite have the same comedic resonance as it might have had later in life, or from anybody who didn't know that at the time. So,
when it comes to horror movies, I am a complete pain in the ass because if it's cheesy, it's an insult to me, you know. And
okay.
I don't get offended. I don't get offended very easily, but I got offended by this one horror movie I saw, and it was Splatter Farm Massacre or some such. And
but how could that be bad?
Wait, Hunter, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Are you into the Freddy vs. Jason movies? And if you are, you're a hypocrite. Do you like? First off, do you like those movies? Before I get ahead of myself,
I love Friday the 13th.
Okay, you're a hypocrite then, because those are cheesy.
Those are not cheesy.
Some of them are.
Those are not cheesy. Some of them are, yes.
Yeah.
The original
Freddy
ones
vs.
weren't.
Jason in 2003, that's like one of the most cheesy movies ever.
How did you? Jason X was cheesy, but I got to give it up for Jason. He's a Jersey resident, so you know.
Jason Takes Manhattan was.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Ugh, that's the one that introduced teleportation, I believe, into his abilities.
That is true.
Yeah, because Jason couldn't teleport up until I don't think that point, but they incorporated it into the video game. So
yes.
Where you can play as Jason, the new one, the new video game, meaning like the one that came out within the last 4 years or whatever it was. I have a couple of videos up on my YouTube where I play that game. So it's fun. You can either play as camp counselors running away from Jason, or you can play as Jason.
Is that a hot take that I think those are cheesy? Is that a hot take?
No, I mean some of them are cheesy.
Some of them I will admit. Some of them are cheesy, but not the entire franchise. Like you take Child's Play. After part 3, the rest were cheesy.
Yeah.
After part 3, I think I only saw the first two, and I don't remember.
So part
either
3,
of them very well.
He's basically a troubled teenager that gets sent to military school. So it's not even the original actor who played Andy. Now it's a completely different dude, and basically Chucky follows him to the military school.
You're talking about sorry, this is in Child's Play 3?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll talk about Chucky. I didn't think we were going to talk about Chucky tonight.
I would go ahead, but I'm just listening.
Complete cheesiness right after that.
See, I mean, I'll see these movies eventually. There's like 7 or 8 of them now, so like that usually
cheesy.
Yeah, but I also saw 6 of the Leprechaun movies one year. I decided to just marathon those things. Yeah, they're terrible, but they're also entertaining.
After Leprechaun 1, which you should have stopped like right there. Okay,
well,
but you did. You went to Leprechaun 2. Okay, like I sort of get it.
And 3. That's cool. And 4.
But
and
no. 3. 3. They should have stopped. They should never have gone part 3 where he's rhyming everything like, "Oh, you cut off your nose, I'll be cutting off your feet," or whatever the hell he's rhyming. But where the dude's turning into a leprechaun, and the little guy wants the big guy who's turning into a leprechaun to come join the green side, and it was just
join the green side.
Yeah, it should never have happened.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like that's like in the Saw series when they continue after the old guy dies.
Yes, they should never have done.
Which one was that? Like 5 or 6? I've only seen the first one, and it's okay. By the way, if you,
I think they killed him off too early, and then like the next 2 movies after that, they said that he's like it was recorded messages.
Oh, that makes sense. So is Tobin Bell? Is that the actor's name who plays Jigsaw?
Yes, I think so.
don't know.
But they should have just left it at like part 1.
Yeah, I remember being in theaters, and I'm like, "This is Saw." I was telling my buddy, I'm like, right when he died, I'm like, I hope, and then I hope this is the last one, because I think they could have gotten more out of that. Sure. I was a big Saw person, though. I love those movies, man.
I thought Saw 1 was a pretty good movie. I didn't see more Saw.
It was creative though at the time, like you know what I mean. Like it was really creative.
Sure. Well, if you like Saw, you should see The Abominable Dr. Phibes with Vincent Price. It's sort of like the original man setting trap situations in order to take people out kind of movie. It's pretty good.
Anything but that human centipede.
Oh, yeah, I've only seen part of the first one.
Oh God, please don't, especially part 2. You don't want to do it.
No, like, are you guys into the Paranormal Activity or the Blair Witch Project stuff?
Saw the first one.
I saw part 2. I love part 2 of Blair Witch Project, and of course, Paranormal Activity Part 1 was my jam.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that we know the one of the actresses from obviously not well, but only through Combat Radio, of course.
Ashley?
Yes, Palmer.
Ashley Palmer. Yes, she was a regular on Combat Radio back in 2012, I think it was 2012,
yes.
And whatnot, and she might have also done some of the Christmas events. Combat Radio is this program hosted by Ethan Dettenmeyer, who started a podcast network, I guess, called BrigadeRadio1.org, and yearly they have a Christmas event where they do charity for homeless children in a place called the Salt Creek Grill in Valencia, California. And I think they've been doing that for now 10 years, maybe.
Yes,
something like that. They also did charity albums, which we participated in by submitting an audio theater hosted haunted house kind of, like, when you have a guided tour of a haunted house kind of thing, and it's a bunch of rooms where strange things are happening, or this is the ghost room, and then there's a ghost that comes out. This is the
Tyson,
evil puppet room, or whatever it is.
You have to admit that it is pretty scary.
Yes. Well, see, he's doing his character voice was Fritz, which are based on Dwight Fry's character from
Fritz
from the original Frankenstein with Boris Karloff.
Frankenstein, and
and there's that little guy that wasn't Igor that was in that movie, and but his name was Fritz, and I just thought, oh, that's a good name for I need kind of a little squirrely guy. And then there's 2 hosts. There's Fritz, and then there's Mr. L, whose voice is based on Christopher Lee. So.
Paying homage.
Yes, so he's got the voice like this, and it's come this way, please. It's sort of down the hallway.
When it comes to the classics, Christopher Lee's.
Oh yeah. I'm actually watching a film. I'm in the midst of one that Hunter recommended to me. That's on YouTube. Castle of Dr. Death, Castle of Blood Halls. What is that movie called that you sent me? It's got 3 titles.
One title is The Castle of the Walking Dead.
That's yes.
And The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism.
Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism. Yeah, it's like 1967 or something, and I'll tell you, I like the music.
It's great, right?
Yeah, it's kind of the music is kind
Don't hit me! I'm Father Fabian. Father.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that far yet, but yeah, Father Fabian. Okay, now Fabian, he was a teen idol like in the 50s, and I don't think this is that Fabian.
No, it's not that Fabian.
By the way, anybody notice that we went from Fabian to Fabio?
To Fabio, yes.
Yeah.
Isn't there the guy on the horse in that commercial?
Yes.
I am so glad Fabio's gone.
Fabio, that guy, the one on the horse.
I can't believe it's not butter. Spray. Yeah, he got hit in the face with a bird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's true. He's doing a photo shoot.
Yeah.
Apparently he set back his career a bit, but he's probably okay. He was like he would do a lot of I don't know what they call it, but when you're a model for people to draw, I guess a model. He did modeling for like the romance novel covers. Like you'd go to the supermarket and you'd see like books on the shelf and be like the Harlequin series, and it'd be like Mists of Stone, and there'd be some guy with long flowing hair and a ruffled shirt, and she'd be holding a woman with a blouse and ocean in the background, right, or whatever. And that was usually based on, they'd get Fabio in there, and he'd, for photo reference, that's what it was. So I was looking for photo reference, among other things. Yeah, it's also a great name, by the way.
The cheesy supermarket store trashy novels. That's and he's on all the covers.
Yeah, yeah, he's on a lot of them. Yeah, it makes me think of
excuse me.
Oh, bless you. The Fisher King, when Amanda Plummer's character, the one that Robin Williams' character is into, likes to read romance novels. He refers to them as trashy romance novels, and he says, there's nothing trashy about romance. And then and then pulls a little thing out that he's made basically one of those corks with the wires on it that you take off a champagne bottle, and he's refashioned into something that looks like a chair, and he says you find a lot of wonderful things in the trash.
What was y'all's favorite Robin Williams movie?
Oh, Jacob the Liar.
I'll have to go with Jumanji.
Jumanji's my second favorite, but definitely one of his more serious films would have to be Jacob the Liar. And Insomnia.
I'm going to have
Insomnia.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Still kind of thinking. I'm going to have to say probably The Fisher King. I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite because there's, so many great films.
He was great in the Dead Poet Society.
Yeah, it was fantastic in that. It's wonderful.
Yeah. I feel like he was just so versatile,
He could do serious really well.
Yes, he could.
Wow.
You know who's underrated when it comes to serious movies? Adam Sandler. You guys seen that Uncut Gem?
Oh, not yet. No, but I want to.
Not yet.
He's actually pretty good in that. I was surprised.
There was another serious movie. Was it called Rain Over Me? That he did.
Yeah, I'm a big Adam Sandler guy.
I like all the films of his that I've seen.
A lot of them.
I haven't seen them all. Well, I mean,
definitely. He's definitely a comedic genius.
I think Wedding Singer.
You never saw Waterboy?
Oh no, I see it. I saw Waterboy. Yeah. I saw it in the theater actually.
Oh, I'm like, come on, man. His mama.
Mama said.
Yeah, Mama said.
Although Little Nicky for me.
Let's see. Mama say. Mama saw. Mamaku saw.
And then she got mad at this at Vicky.
It was Vicky Fairuza Balk?
That was
Vicky Rappaport.
Yep, that was his girlfriend in Waterboy. Because she met him at college. So basically, she was trying to get him to stop, being a mama's boy, and basically, Kathy Bates was like, "Well, I'm gonna hobble you now with my sledgehammer like I did in Misery," and she. Tied the girl to the bed and put a block between his legs, and
it's like Mama wanted him to be a virgin for his whole life,
What it seemed like. Now you stay away from women. Vaginas are the devil.
It's like why don't you let him score?
Well, he wound up scoring at the end, so
Yeah.
The Wedding Singer is probably my favorite of his that I've seen. Because there's a lot that I haven't seen yet, but he's good. He's good. I like
Little Nicky is my favorite.
Oh yeah, Little Nicky is actually really good too.
Big Daddy's underrated.
Saw that one in the theater.
Oh, that movie was hilarious, Big Daddy.
I've seen a lot of Mr. Deeds.
Haven't seen Mr. Deeds yet. That's a remake too of something.
Oh, Mr. Deeds is hilarious. That is my money.
He was given, ransom.
Oh, okay. I'll have to see it at some point. I haven't.
Yes.
Yet. Oh, so I noticed we've been recording for a little while here, and we have something we tend to try to do with every time a guest is on a show. First, how much time do we have you for?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like there are 30 minutes or so. I gotta crash soon.
Okay, so I probably should get to this next part. Well, so what we do is we have this little game that we play with our new guests, and it's a little game show called "What Do These Mean Words Mean?" And I will be right back, and then we can get into that if you don't mind.
I got my ass kicked. Never do I ever get my ass kicked. I got my ass handed to me twice. So what's going on, dude?
Nothing, man. Just another day in the podcast grind, man. I've been trying to build a community. For the first time, I'm actually getting emails from, I guess, people's agents to try to get on an interview. So I'm building slowly the podcast.
Nice.
Were you saying something about needing to go through people's agents in order to get?
Like bands hire people to do their media for them.
Well, that's cool. I should probably. There's probably a couple of people that I have tried to get on the podcast that I should probably try to talk to the representation first.
I was easily the most random and least popular podcasts that the band made rounds to, but I felt honored being even included in that, you know?
It was a good interview. Plus, I learned about something I'd never heard of, Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, that I've been looking for, because that sounds good.
Listen to it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I appreciate the ad, too. I put your ad in there.
Oh, no, thank you for taking my ad. Thank you for offering ad space on your show. So let's see here. There is, okay, so this is a book I picked up at Powell's Bookstore in Oregon about, God, I don't know how many years ago it is now. I can't remember, but it's called Depraved and Insulting English. Whoops, and there goes my face. Depraved and Insulting English, Words to Offend and Amuse. And it is basically a dictionary of words that are no longer used in the English language, and they're impolite words. For example, I don't think it's in this book, but the word humbug used to be an impolite word. It used to be as impolite as saying bullshit, basically. Is now, although everybody says bullshit now, practically. Which I try not to, but so it's because I have to go back and edit bleeps. I have to make bleeps at the end of this. So anyway, I've picked out 5 words. It's a multiple choice. I'm going to say an old word, spell it, tell you whether it's a noun, adjective, verb, or whatnot, and then give you multiple choice as to what it means.
Okay.
Okay. Word number 1 starts with an S. It is scombroid. It is spelled Scombroid. It is an adjective. Scombroid. So now, is scombroid descriptive of resembling a corpse, resembling a mackerel, or resembling a hemorrhoid?
A.
Hunter says...
Yeah, I was going to go with A as well.
Okay, both of you are going with A?
Yeah.
All right. It is actually resembling a mackerel.
Ah.
Really?
Really?
Hunter, I followed your lead and you failed me.
Sorry, dude.
Well, it's okay. We're both tied at 0, so that's all right. There's 4 more to go.
All right.
We may have to do a tiebreaker round. We'll see. Next word begins with an E, and it is epiginum. That is EPIG. EPIGYNUM. And
sounds like a medical term for vagina.
It is a noun. So, is it a noun that refers to the very top of a pointy head, a male menstrual period, that is referring to mood or attitude, or is it the vagina of a spider?
You know
A.
what? Is it B.
So Sean is going with the very top of a pointy head, and Hunter is going with the male menstrual period?
Yes.
Okay. Score is tied at 0. It is the vagina of a spider.
What?
You know, I was gonna actually pick that, but I'm like, yeah, no, that's no.
You should have gone with your instinct.
I didn't even know spiders had vaginas.
I didn't.
We're both terrible at this game, man.
It's a tough game.
Yeah.
It's purely for fun.
I know. I just don't want to post a goose egg.
I would imagine that a spider had a cloaca, but
yes,
I suppose not. Yeah, I guess not.
That's why I don't trust spiders.
Birds and lizards. Why? Because they have vagina.
Yeah, because you just can't trust them.
All right. So the third word is starts with an A. It is agelast, and that is spelled Agelast. Agelast. It is a noun. So I ask you, is an agelast a person who never laughs, a person who never eats food that is preserved, or a young woman who weds a much older man?
A.
Hunter is going with A, a person who never laughs.
Oh, it's A. Yeah, I'm going with A as well.
Sean is also going with a person that never laughs. And the score is tied at 1.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
So it's 1-1 at this stage.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Word number 4. The penultimate word in this quiz. It starts with an N. And it is naffin. That is spelled Naffin. And it is a noun. All right. Is a naffin a smelly street urchin? One who is almost an idiot? Or C, a heavily soiled handkerchief?
B.
Hunter is going with B, one who is almost an idiot.
Can you say the choices again?
Absolutely. A smelly street urchin. B, one who is almost an idiot. Or C, a heavily soiled handkerchief. Or
A.
A. Which is, so I'm going with A. Hunter has a point. It is one who is almost an idiot. So now, I have the final word, so we have a choice to tie it up and go to a tiebreaker.
Okay.
Or Hunter will win. So it's anybody's.
The pressure.
Tiebreaker. I can do a tiebreaker.
Okay.
No.
No?
Go ahead. I'm ready. Go ahead.
See. Oh, we haven't got there yet, so we'll see. Tiebreaker is a different game too, but it doesn't. It's only one round. Alrighty. Final word starts with a P, and it is a verb. The word is, word is pandy. Pandy. So like panda, except with a Y. Pandy. So, is the verb pandy? Sorry, it's hard to, because I have to word these so that I say that in each the same way. Is to pandy A, unsuccessful begging. B, to persuade with alcohol or a similarly intoxicating substance. Or C, to punish someone by beating them on the hands with a stick.
A.
Hunter says...
See, this is strategy. So if I go A as well, he wins anyway. So I have to do something different. So that's the only way that, right? Am I wrong on that or right?
Were A the correct answer, then
yeah. So I have to go something different. So I'm going to go with B.
I'm going to go with B, which is to persuade with alcohol or a similarly intoxicating substance. Is that your final answer? Says
because I have no choice. It's not C.
It is C. It is
what?
Oh. To pandy is to punish someone by beating them on the hands with a stick. So that means Hunter has won this show's edition of What Do These Words Mean? Congratulations, Hunter.
Thank you. I got my groove back.
Worthy victor.
So just to recap the words, there was S for scombroid, E for epiginum, A for agelast, N for naffin, and P for pandy. So, I don't know if you saw it.
Salute to the victory, Hunter.
Thank you.
Take one on the chin, man.
Congratulations to you both. Well played, both of you. So
and of course, did you see what Tyson did with that particular set of words?
No. What? Did I miss some sort of hidden connotation or hidden meaning?
Go ahead, Hunter. You can say it.
It's your name.
Yes.
Oh.
I took the letters in Sean P. and I picked the words based on that.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
I didn't even get that. I'm sorry for not even picking up on that. It's
about a 50,
it's midnight. It's midnight here.
I hear you. It's about a 50-50 ball that the guests will put together that has happened. That's kind of the point, is that it's tailor made for each guest, and it's maybe they'll figure, maybe they won't do that, but that has happened.
Well, Tyson, the one thing I wanted to let you know was that's the thing. I don't know if you guys have found that as podcasting, but you meet a lot of good people podcasting, interviewers, other podcasts. They try to work together because, you know, networking's huge. And Tyson, you're one of those people that I've had the pleasure of calling a friend. So,
Oh, thank you, Sean. I appreciate that.
I appreciate, you know,
Thank you for
everything.
being-
And Hunter, it's good. Hunter, it's good meeting you.
Good meeting you too, bro.
And I appreciate the contact and you know, podcasts, they push each other to be better, you know. That's just
100%.
We
We're gonna
try.
have to get you back on, of course.
yeah, I'm so honored. And then Tyson and Hunter, maybe we both, you guys can come on Sensibly Cynical, and we can
Yes.
just make up a topic to get you on, you know, just
Yes.
I'd be down for that. That'd be great. And so, Sean, where can
100%
people
on my
find
end.
you around the net? Like, where are the best places to get in touch with your shows or your social media or anything you'd like to plug, as it were?
All right. Well, first we are on Twitter.
Mhm.
It's at Cynical Sensibly. That's Cynical before the Sensibly.
Okay.
On Instagram, it's Sensibly Cynical Pod.
All lowercase.
And yes. And then we are on almost every podcast platform. It's Sensibly Cynical. That's SENSIBLY and Cynical, CYNICAL. And we have a library. I think I'm on episode 100. I don't want to guess, but I'm going to guess. It's like I think we're coming up on 135.
Well done.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
That's quite a feat.
There's a long history on the back. I used to have a co-host back in the day, and we had a falling out. I don't even speak to the guy anymore.
Sorry to hear that.
So, yeah, well, I'm not, but
Oh, were you talking about Survivor at the time? Is that what it was?
it was a long. I don't know how much time you guys have for this story. I'll give you the short version.
However much time you have, I think.
It started off as something that I think you guys said something about Hunter expletives and stuff. It started off as basically two guys. We were just sitting in his old car, and Podbean. You guys know what Podbean is? I still use them.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
They have one of those where things where there's no editing. You just press the button and you can just talk.
Oh.
There's no intro. There's no nothing. So we would just after a club or after a bar outing, we would just BS record and for a hobby. And then what happened was we all audience was up and down, and then he got tired of doing it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it, And then we recorded. I asked him to come back for the 100th episode, and the recording was just a disaster. And then I haven't hung out with him since. So that's the short story.
Wow.
But I've been running it by myself and trying to. But it seems like every time I try to take it to the next level, it gets pushed down. And I think that's hard because I don't have one subject. So a lot of people. That's why. I don't know if you guys have noticed lately, but rewatch podcasts are more popular than ever.
Oh, when people rewatch a television show? Stuff like that?
Yeah, there's a podcast that all they do is just they rewatch old episodes and they talk about them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's actually a really good one. It's a comedic one called Bananas for Bonanza, and it's not it's characters who are character-based stuff. Sorry, go ahead.
And you guys, I know, Tyson, you're a big, obviously you listen to a lot of podcasts. Hunter, I think you do too as well, I would assume.
Yes.
So you guys need to check out 155.
155. Okay.
So basically, it started off as Blink 185. Blink 155.
Oh.
And there was these two guys who did 155 podcasts on all their songs, all on Blink 182 songs.
Holy cow.
They had 155 songs, and they did a podcast on each one.
Wow.
And so they ran out, and then now they're doing like obscure songs. So each episode is a song.
Nice.
Sometimes they'll have the composer on. Sometimes they'll find out, details about it.
That's very cool.
So like they did a podcast on, dump weed and all that. That's my favorite Blink-182 song. But like, you know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. There is rewatches, re-listens. There's a podcast called, I think it's called What's With These Homies Talking About Weezer, where they break down, it's John Gabris and Matt Apodaca, I think both UCB alum, and they talk about Weezer's albums, basically. And so I think it's a limited run, because I don't think the Weezer has like 100 albums, but they do start with the Blue Album, and they talk about that pretty thoroughly, and then I haven't listened to the next one, because I was just listening to look for stuff to clip for Succotash. Which
there's a lot more podcasts.
Which, by the way, I should get you as a guest on Succotash if you've got the time, Sean.
Yes,
you could talk more about soundcasting. Yeah, absolutely. We do host it. It's not just a clip show. We also have guests and do like a half hour or something.
Right. I always tell people if there's an episode of Sensibly Cynical that they want to just listen to us for the first time, I tell them to listen to the stripper comedian episode.
Oh, I've heard it. What is that one called? Is it just the stripper comedian, or?
It's Chrissy Monroe, the multi-talented stripper comedian.
Okay.
So she strips on the weekdays and does stand-up on weekends.
Fun.
He's nationally touring, so she uses the pole as her interact, obviously. Brings people up. And so she strips, and then she trolls her own business on weekends. She trashes the business.
Oh, that sounds fun.
For that.
that sounds really amusing.
She throws all the club, staffers, because they're all, because they're all horn dogs. Well, obviously, that's why they're in that business. But so she throws them all under. It's great.
That's pretty.
He's entertaining.
The stripper comedian. What was her name again?
Christy Monroe. She's actually nationally.
Christy Monroe. Okay.
Well, she wasn't. We got her right in the beginning of that. I like to say that our interview brought her to the top, but that wasn't the case. But so she does. She's really talented. She does. She writes books and stuff. So you check that one out. That one's really good.
Oh yeah, count on it.
The thing is like, this is when Frank was still hosting, but it was funny I was like on the telephone, I was like, Christy, you are really hot. I told her that on the podcast.
No.
It was like priceless. It was priceless.
That's funny. Sometimes you got to lead with the obvious.
He's like, to act complimentary or being humble and creeped out at the same time. She was like, thank you.
Well, yeah.
It was priceless.
And then her screen went dark as she changed her Skype handle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and then Frank goes, "Oh yeah, Sean, you need to take a cold shower."
But it's not. So that sounds like a fun episode, though.
I'll be recording it in the cold shower.
That's the best one. But yeah, so basically it's turned into an interview show. So each week I will have, different interviews coming up. I just recorded an Ask Me Anything with a psychic medium. So she came on and we did an Instagram live and she answered people's questions.
I saw that in my feed earlier, the Instagram feed.
Yeah. Will I be liberated in my life? Will 2021 be better than 2020? Mm-hmm. Should I dump him? Stuff like that. It was interesting.
Should I sell my Dogecoin and invest in Litecoin?
Should I invest in Bitcoin?
Yeah. Will Beavis and Butthead return on Paramount Plus?
And will they be played by Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan?
Will Patrick Starr finally have his own standalone show?
That's it. You guys should come on for Beavis and Butthead episode. No, but I was a big Beavis guy. Beavis over Butthead, in my opinion.
Beavis was the lower voiced one. Was that Beavis?
Yeah, I have to go with Beavis as well. Over Butthead.
So there's this great moment of Mike Judge, the creator, being of Beavis and Butthead, being on Letterman. I think for the first time, and this is like I don't know, 25 years ago or something. And back in the day, and he seemed a little nervous, but for the most part, pretty okay. I don't know, maybe not, but Mr. Letterman's like, what can you tell us a little bit about Beavis and Butthead or whatever, or something like that. I don't think he said exactly like that. And Mike Judge says, well, because Mike Judge did both the voices, he'd say, well, Butthead's kind of like, And then Beavis is more like, yeah, yeah. And
He said wiener.
Yeah. And the audience, the audience laughs because they're familiar with it. And then David goes, well, no offense, Mike, but I could have done that.
Yeah.
It's like the most
It's like
easy impressions. And yeah.
They use them on the. You guys see the Paramount Plus advertisements?
Mm-mm. Is that on YouTube? Because that's where I see a lot of the Paramount Plus
there was a
advertisements.
Super Bowl commercial where they had all like the main stars of CBS and Paramount Pictures people climbing up a mountain, and like Patrick Stewart was like narrating it from the top of the mountain.
Wow.
And then at the very end they show like SpongeBob, like SpongeBob coming up from under the, in a kind of like a tank because, SpongeBob needs water.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be like, so it's coming out. There's like SpongeBob and Patrick and shit.
Oh, that's funny.
It was a funny. And then they show like Jeff Probst because Survivor's on CBS. And then they show like a bunch of other people,
Survivor,
yeah.
But no,
not seen a single episode.
Yeah.
Either.
Well, I'm just saying that they're just using all their stars and stuff. And I'm hoping that it's actually worth it. I'm going to try it for a little bit. I mean, continue it. But I don't know. They've been promoting MTV, Snooki and stuff. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm saying for the record right now, so everyone out there can know this now. I am from the Jersey Shore. So for all intent purposes, I am Hunter from the Jersey Shore, and I can tell you right now.
Hunter, I have a question for you then.
Go ahead.
I heard that the people that were on Jersey Shore, like none of them are actually from Jersey.
They're not.
Is that true?
That's true.
I guess true.
And I can tell you right now that being on the shore and being from the Jersey Shore, nobody acts like that on the Jersey Shore. In fact, we don't even like outsiders to be crowding our beaches or anything else. So we're not like that at all.
But it's reality television.
Right. But it's reality television.
No, but Tyson, this has been a blast. You guys can check us out on we have a Facebook group too.
Oh, good.
And
checking it out.
You know what? And it was funny is the psychic Dina Janelle, she actually told me that the podcast was going to blow up in December. So I'm taking her word for it.
Cool.
Nice.
So, I mean, psychics are supposed to be like, the truth tellers, right? And that's what they're supposed to be?
As far as I know.
I'll ask her. I said, what's the difference between psychic and medium? She would.
unless you're like me, who walked onto the Kingsburg boardwalk and walked up to a psychic and said, "Are you a psychic?" And the woman's like, "Yes." I'm like, "Okay, so say my name, bitch. You should know you're." No, I didn't do that.
I think the difference is that a psychic is between the past and the future, and a medium is between small and large.
Yeah.
Isn't a medium like the ones that you would contact though to contact the dead?
Yeah, it's like
I got the joke, Tyson. Never mind.
Thanks.
Between small and large, got it.
It's like should I pay? It's like, should I pay for premium porn this month?
It says ask again later.
That's what RedTube's for. RedTube's free.
For those of
and
you at home, I shook
Pornhub.
an imaginary magic 8-ball. So that's what.
Like
RedTube or Pornhub.
And then Beavis in the background, Brazzers.
Tushy.
The
Bang
word
bus.
tushy though.
Sorry, what?
I don't think he's ever said the word tushy though.
Probably not. No, I'm just naming stuff that's on Pornhub. Not that I would know.
Oh, come on, Tyson.
I don't get the connection with the eggplant. I don't know why eggplants are representative of whatever they're representative of. I don't get the, because I've never asked.
The emoji? I have no idea either.
He said vagina.
Epiginum, ladies and gentlemen. The spider's vagina. The vagina of a spider. Tonight.
This is why I don't trust spiders, because they're big with 8 eyes, and they hide in corners and whatnot. In fact, going back in the summertime, I was coming out of the studio here, into the main house, and I saw a wolf spider in the house, and
Eek.
I don't know where it went.
They should put it in a jar and named it Jack.
I'm hoping it's dead.
Wolf Spider Jack.
Hey,
Jack.
first name Jack, last name off.
Middle name me.
Me.
All right. Well, Sean, thank you. I know you probably want to go to bed, so
Thank you.
I'll cut you loose. I appreciate you coming on the program. Thank you for coming on the program. Thank you for being here.
I hope I wasn't boring and turned everybody.
No, it's fine. The time went by. I mean, we've been doing this for over an hour now, and it seems like it hasn't been very long. So that's why I was kind of.
My battery's on 6%, so this is good timing.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, again, thank you for being on tonight.
Thank you. Yes.
So
come back.
When's the next episode of Sensibly Cynical coming out? What'd you say?
It should be up. I would say in a couple days. I'm in editing of the Psychic Medium, and then tomorrow I'll be interviewing Emma G. She's a author, singer, songwriter, and she's also a motivational coach.
Oh, cool.
So Emma G will be up next week, but this week I should have the AMA Ask Me Anything with Dina Janelle up.
Okay, and just for the people out there, today is March 7th, 2021. This is the recording date. This episode will probably come out in about a month from now. So have that to go back into the archive and look backwards for. Rather than looking forward to, look backwards to it for it.
Yes.
I don't know how to say that. I tried it a bunch of times, didn't come out right. Oh well. But that's what people can find, so who knows what it'll be in a month or so from now when this show airs.
This is a complete honor. Tyson, I'm a fan. Hunter, I'm a fan. So
thank you, sir.
We're
fans too.
Feelings mutual.
Yes.
And I'm out, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good night, sir. Thank you.
Have a good night,
guys. Later.
Long and prosper. Well, that's about all the time we have for Antisocial Show. I'm Hunter Block. Well, that's about all the time we have. Yeah. Well, that's about all the time we have for Antisocial Show. I'm Tyson Zahner.
And I'm Hunter Block.
We'd like to say thank you to our guest, Sean Pratten of Sensibly Cynical and the other show that he mentioned. Be decent to each other.
Absolutely. Peace.
Have a good time, folks.